right. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Bekah with CFH Powerlifting, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself and just kind of tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm April Hamon. I'm with Anderson Powerlifting. I'm a sponsored elite athlete, I like to claim. I'm a mom of 3 kids, 2 that's on autism spectrum, wife, powerlifter, mediocre CrossFitter, ultra marathon runner, just kind of all of the above.
You literally have nothing going on.
Yeah,
Literally nothing. Just
nothing.
powerlifting now. I used to run. I used to run marathons and ultras before I started powerlifting. Now it's strictly powerlifting.
Are you a stay-at-home mom or do you work?
Well, I coach. I'm a personal trainer, powerlifting coach, but for the most part, I am stay at home.
Gotcha. And you now do you coach out of the GT barbell? Like,
yes, I co-coach the women's team, but then I have personal training on the side that I do here at home or that I do at a sports society for American Health Fit Lab that's in New Zealand.
we got to meet that crew. My nose is itching. I'm so sorry. John and Gabe and Travis, and there was one other one, wasn't there? Was John Jacquar, Gabe, Travis, and there was a really young kid with them, and I can't. Ricky. Is there?
I don't think I've met him yet. I don't think.
Yeah, they came up to our bench only meet in Oklahoma, and it was so much fun. Like they have so much energy. I'm like,
right?
I can't keep up with that. But they were so much fun. We had a blast with them. I think they're coming over to the IPA Worlds in Houston.
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah, I know for a fact that Gabe and myself, Siobhan, which she's new to the team, to the women's team, and probably a few others that are going to be out there, but not 100% sure as to who will actually be there.
I'm super excited.
Me too.
Apparently there's somebody outside. It's probably not Amazon delivery, so my dog's going to bark at them. Well, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to getting to meet you then.
Same here.
I love that team. So I'm just going to start with you, the same question that I start with everybody, because it's really interesting to me. Growing up, powerlifting, strength sports was on every shelf for men, the Arnold, all of that. Not so much for us women.
Right.
So how were you introduced to strength sports, and when was that moment you decided that you wanted to be a strong athlete?
Well, I mean, I've always worked out and everything. I mean, throughout middle school, high school. I mean, I ran in high school. It really wasn't until we had moved down to the Beaumont area from Athens back in 2013 that I really got into wanting to work out more at home. Then I got into running. I found a local running group and started really focusing on running. And then a couple of running friends were doing CrossFit. Then I got introduced to CrossFit a couple of years later, and I was focused on CrossFit for a while until I was introduced to Mike Dimon, which is a friend of Ken Anderson's. Mm-hmm. And he has a little private home gym out in Mauriceville where he coaches and trains high school kids. And I was taken out there, and I strictly only went out there because I wanted someone to help me improve my deadlift numbers, and that was it. And then I ended up getting talked into competing in the powerlifting. So I went from CrossFit, doing that all the time, into doing powerlifting and running, because I was still doing ultra marathons while I was competing in powerlifting. So
that's a lot to take on. Running, powerlifting.
Yeah, running was a mental thing, really. Yeah. But I mean, I ran. My middle son is nonverbal autistic, and so my running was because of him. I would raise money for OAR, Organization for Autism Research, which is the organization that I'm with for autism, because of him and a bunch of other kids that I would run for.
So Yeah, I was a special ed teacher in Huffman in the Houston area. And our kids were, the kids that I had were, most of them were on the spectrum as well. So we did more with, my brain's gonna stop now. I'm not gonna be able to think of the name of the, either way. So yeah, we did a thing every year, the walk
Mhm.
with the ISD. So, and Barry has a whole thing with the walk for the walk for causes. He's like, people already know exist. Why you got to walk to tell people it exists?
She doesn't know. She may need a little more context than I think I'm gonna have.
So he has the same superpower that your son has.
Okay.
So he's allowed to feel that way. He's like, "Look,
Gotcha.
I'm tired." You don't need to walk to tell people about it.
This is
He's
true.
very blunt.
It's
He's
like
this
walking
is true.
for cancer awareness. Where are these people who don't know about it? Take me to them. I'll explain it quickly and then we can all move on.
so that's his superpower coming out. Call it. It's his superpower. So how long have you been with Anderson?
I've been with Anderson since I want to say late 2017, early 2018, because I had my first competition April of 2018. So I'd like to say, like, for my first competition, that's when I've been full on board with them.
Yeah, I think Kevin was telling us that it was like right after or right at your first meet is when you picked up.
It was right before my first meet.
And I was looking, well, Barry looked up your numbers earlier. You've done 14 meets with 13 first
15. The last one was 15 that I did.
Uh-oh.
Is it not powerlifting?
No, I think there's the Wobble meet and there's another meet that still hasn't been added to open powerlifting.
Okay, so I'm absolved of all responsibility.
Yeah, and my best meet was Wobble this last world, and it's not on there.
Oh, why isn't it on there yet? I wonder.
Well, Gus had with Wobble, they've been doing some changeovers, so they're just now getting records updated from World.
Gotcha.
So a little transition period.
Okay, well then I'm gonna let you update my records because so at Wobble, did you do single ply or multiply?
Single ply. I always do single ply. I haven't crossed over that multiply bridge yet, but the thought is there. Like I want to maybe at some
Somebody has a
point.
record wrong for you on open powerlifting because you actually have a multiply number on open powerlifting.
Yeah, so that's actually single ply, and that's with APF.
Okay.
Because of how they had done the registration forms. Yep. Whenever that particular meet was done, they showed they didn't have it as equipped. They had it as a single ply. They had it as equipped.
Right, you're either raw or equipped with some.
Right, raw or equipped.
Yeah.
So the only way that they could put those records, was my understanding, is it had to go under multiply. Or
so I can actually tell you how to fix that.
If you can't trust open powerlifting, who can you trust?
So that's actually a meet director thing too. The meet director can actually submit it as single ply, but you can also email open powerlifting as the lifter and have them ask them to change it. And then all they have to do is go to the meet director and verify that you did in fact compete single ply. They have to do that. So with us being IPA is you're either raw or you're unlimited. There's no in between on the IPA record side. But as a meet director, I can submit you as raw, single ply, multiply, or unlimited. I just have to verify what equipment you were in.
Right.
But I mean, I know what, like, I mean, I can look at somebody on a bench and tell whether they've got on a single ply, a double ply, or an unlimited shirt. Like,
right.
So I'm not going to take somebody that's on a bench in a single ply shirt and submit them as an unlimited lifter. Like, that's not fair to me. If you're competing single ply, you should be submitted as single ply.
Right.
That's just me. What do I know?
Well, you can look at those numbers like, oh, those are like some really low multiply numbers.
Well, that's okay. I misheard Barry when he was telling me numbers. So your best raw total on open powerlifting. So but the best raw total is 647. And then your best single play is 800. But I thought he said your best raw total was 1647 and your best
Oh, that would be
single play
awesome.
was 800. I was like, how has she got a 1600 raw total and only an 800 single play? I was like, are you sure you looked at that right? He's like, no,
Thanks, Barry.
647. Right.
I do what I can.
Apparently my ears weren't working when he was. So I was going to give you like a 1600 total. I mean,
Oh, I love it. Just go ahead. I'll take it.
1647. That's your wallet.
That's hilarious.
So what are your plans for this year, meet wise?
First up, I have Arnold. I'm competing at Arnold with XPC Powerlifting.
Mhm.
And then after that, I'll do IPA World with you guys
Mhm.
in May. And then I'll have a local meet in August. And then the one I typically do 4 to 5 meets a year. That's like a bunch. My door is opening, so I think the cat probably pushed it open. Yes, he did. I have a meet that I'm wanting to do in between August and Mike Dimmon's December meet, because I always do Mike's meet in December, no matter what I have going on. So I most likely will end up doing Waldville again come October, November,
Right.
because I mean that's one of Anderson's meets, and I try to do that at least once a year.
Well, and we'll be in San Antonio roughly late October, early November. And that's an
Okay.
Anderson meet too. So
Okay.
you are always welcome at ours.
Awesome.
We would love to have you.
I'll keep that in mind.
And I'm certain Kevin would love to see you there too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Kevin didn't go. Well, no, he didn't go last year because we had so few people sign up, but that was kind of a rough time of year for us. So,
Well, we had changes.
oh,
He
that's
was
right.
for
That's
some
when
dates
he,
too, so-
yeah, that's
because
right. That was
when
right
they
when
were
he had
helping
that
him with
surgery.
other-
Right.
Yeah, that was right when he had that surgery. So your first meet you said was roughly 2018.
Where,
April 2018.
I need to know where the group came from.
Oh, okay. We need to know where group came from, and then
Oh man. Okay, so I've had that nickname for a while now. So the Adventures of the Galaxy, series or whatever. There's an opening scene where a group does like this little dance or whatever. So I got caught at the gym doing that little dance, and then that name kind of stuck. So, oh, you look like Groot. I have a cat interrupting, and so that name just kind of has stuck.
So you are
Baby Groot
Groot.
ever since.
Yeah, Baby Groot. That's me.
I love it.
So your first meet was 2018. Was it raw or equipped?
It was equipped single fly. It was APF meet.
Do you remember stepping onto the platform for the first time? Like, what did you take away from that meet? How was that meet for you?
I learned a lot because I mean, I had Mike Dimmon coaching me then, and I was training with his group of kids. At least twice a week I was with them. So Mike is a great mentor. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for him. You know, I had really low numbers then, but because my bench was like 115.
Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I was still in the process then of learning the suits. You know, my squat suit, mostly my bench shirt. I'm still learning. Like 4 years later, I'm still learning the bench shirt and trying to get the most out of it that I possibly can before I attempt to go up to a different kind of shirt. But it's all a learning process, just like everything else.
What's been your favorite meet so far?
Oh, probably Wobble World, because I had my best bench and my best deadlift.
So what did you do at Wobble this year?
I did 150 exact. Let's see. I did 159.7 on bench and then 347 on deadlift.
Wow. And what are you looking for this year? Do you have any goals set for yourself for this year?
Goals I have. See, my computer's doing some crazy stuff. Goals I have for this year, I don't know if it'll happen at a meet, but I have it set up where I want to pull 400 on deadlift this year. I mean, I was super close, a couple years ago because I was deadlifting 2 or 3 times a week, and I'd gotten up to my heaviest 360 in training, but that transition over into a competition hasn't ever went that great. And since I had taken on with Gabe at Wobble was the first meet where everything it went as planned, through training, and then we peaked just like we needed to, and it just carried over into the meet. And I mean, it was my best meet. And I'm looking to that happen with every one of my meets from here on out. Now that I have, an experienced coach with me all the time.
Yeah. And that's why I word my question the way I do, is what is your goal? Not what do you want to do in a meet? Because to me, I think if you pull that 400, I don't care whether you pull it on a platform or in the gym. I know that people say if it doesn't happen on a platform, it's not real, but to me, that's not true.
Right.
My best numbers have been done in the gym. I've never stepped foot on a platform. But that doesn't mean I haven't moved the weight. So that's why I ask, what are your goals? Not what do you plan to do on the platform? I mean, obviously everybody wants to do it on the platform and get it on open powerlifting, because that's, why we do this. But I think if you move the weight, you move the weight.
Right. No, I completely agree. But there's those people, like, if it didn't happen on platform, it doesn't count.
But it does.
But it does.
Especially, I think it counts more for women than men. I think men, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think for men, a lot of times it kind of has to happen on the platform for that validation. I think for us, we're just like, hey, I did that. Like I'm taking it. It's mine. I'm taking it. So, who are some of your favorite power lifters, both male and female? Who do you like to watch?
I can't say I really have a favorite one. Like, when it comes to women, Hunter Henderson, like I follow her. I watch all of her trainings. When she goes to a meet, I try to make sure that I can catch it while it's live to where I can see it. But I don't have one particular favorite person.
Right.
I like who I like,
Right.
So,
and that's a hard question for me to ask people too, because and we had this conversation, like, I'm not a social media stalker. We were talking about time zones, and you're like, I'm in Texas. I was like, well, clearly I'm not a social media stalker. So it's a hard question for me to ask people. Like, I know a lot of powerlifters, but to say that I watch specific ones, so I feel bad when I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but there are some people that have very specific favorites. So I do ask, because you never know. What do you do outside of the gym? As far as what hobbies, do you have any hobbies outside of the gym?
I like to write, I draw. That's pretty much it. I like to write things, motivational quotes, poetry, stuff like that. And I like to draw, try to teach the boys how to draw things by watching, how-to videos and stuff like that. But I have a cat, and I don't really have hobbies outside the gym, because I spend most of my time at the gym or in my home gym,
Yeah.
So
what's your favorite lift?
deadlift.
My girl. See,
Yeah,
she knows the right lift.
It's just my favorite.
It's the best.
I love it.
I do too. And
I hated bench, like, from the get-go, but now, like, I like it a lot more than I did when I first started. But deadlift is still my favorite.
I love the deadlift,
hands down. If I could get completely rid of squats, I'm like, okay.
I don't mind squats, but I love the deadlift.
I love the deadlift too. If Gabe would allow me to lift like 3 days a week with just deadlift only, it'd be great. But he doesn't allow me to do that.
You don't say.
He doesn't allow me to do that, and for good reason.
And what advice would you give to, women or men, either one, people getting into the sport, new to the sport? What would be your biggest piece of advice?
Hire a coach. And the only reason I say is because you can only do so much on your own. I mean, you can go in the gym and lift heavy every day, but at some point doing that, you're going to get stagnant and you're going to plateau, and you're not going to be able to hit numbers that you're wanting to hit consistently without actually really following the program. I mean, just hands down, like hire a coach.
Yeah. Yeah. No, are Gabe and them traveling with you to the Arnold this year?
It was, I think he was going to try to, but I mean, it's not 100%. And I'm the type of person, like, I can do a meet on my own. Like, I can get in and out of my suits. I can set my bench shirt by myself. I can get out of it by myself. And I self-wrap my knees all the time at the gym, just in case I don't have somebody that can be there, or if it's a meet where Kevin's not there or something like that. Like, I know that I can do it on my own.
Well, Kevin will be there, and we'll be there to help Kevin run the table. So you'll have plenty of support at the Arnold. We'll be there. We've got an entire team of people that will be there. So you'll absolutely have plenty of support at the Arnold.
I'm excited.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Kate and Jimmy are coming. There's 2, 4, 6, probably like 6 or 8 of us going up, because the Talatis are going. Nick and Crystal, and there's a whole slew of us meeting up there. So and I think Sherry and Jeff are going as well. So we'll have like an entire room full of people. So anything you need, we will be there to help.
Appreciate
It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
It's like, what, 6 weeks away?
I know. I can't believe it. Like, I need to probably prepare a little bit better. I can't believe we've got Texas State coming up in 4 weeks, and then like 2 weeks later we leave for the Arnold. So probably get ready. How old are your boys?
They are 14, 13, and 11.
And are they into the gym at all?
Well, Xavier, our oldest one, he's been working out with Dad for a couple months now here at in our home gym. But a few weeks ago, he actually joined the GG barbell team, and so now he's coached under Gabe because he doesn't listen to Mom. Mom can't be his coach.
I can see that.
So he's doing really well. He's in off-season training right now because he's a newbie, but we plan on putting him in a meet come December. He'll do Mike Dimon's meet come December. It's his first meet.
That'll be really exciting for him, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he's excited. He's gonna do it as a push-pull, most likely.
Gotcha.
So we're not gonna worry about squats. His squats are a little squirrely right now.
You know what? I think everybody's squats are squirrely when they first start.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. You're either really good at it or you hate it, though.
Well, he's really tall too, so he's way taller than me, and I think now he's actually taller than his dad. So he's got some length issues with squatting.
Our son has monkey arms. Like, his arms are so long.
That's Xavier too. He's got long arms. His bench was squirrely there for a while too, but now he's worked on slowing everything down and trying to do it as if he was on a competition platform.
Right. That's where we struggled with our oldest was, with bench shirts and band shirts and everything, was his arms were just so long that, I mean, you would get his bench shirt on, there'd be that much room between his elbow and his bench shirt. And you're like, well,
that's where all the advantage is.
Right. Poor kid. I mean, he does really well, but it's like, God love him.
Right.
Well, anything else that, I guess, well, the other question that I usually ask too is, are there any challenges that you really had to overcome as a female lifter?
No, not really that I can think of. I mean, other than I get some hate comments on some of my bench posts, like, well, why are you arching your back so much? Like, you should be a flat bencher. unless you're an equipped lifter in a bench shirt, like, don't come at me
Right.
about form. Or
Right.
unless you're my coach, don't come at me about form, you know?
As long as my butt and my shoulders are on the bench, then that's all that matters.
Exactly. Now, if I could have, one of those raw moments where like, this is as far as I have to bench, like some of the other female benchers, I take advantage of that, but I'm not that limber.
Right. No, I agree, man. It's all about the arch.
Yeah, if it's within the rules, it's within the rules, you know?
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And anything else that you really want to talk about as far as our sport and where it's headed right now? I mean, there's a lot of amazing things being done in our sport right now, both female and male. Anything happening that you want to talk about?
And I mean, I like the fact that they've added extra weight, they added the new weight classes for the women so that the lower weight ones aren't having to compete with like single heavyweights. They're separated, which I think it should have been done like that a long time ago. But, I mean,
right.
They made rules then for a reason, and rules are, made to be changed. So.
Well, yeah. And I think there's a lot more women competing now too.
Right.
And
again, there's a lot more competing now than when I started 4 years ago, like so many more.
Yeah, and there's more and more popping up every day. It seems like every time we have a meet, we have more women signing up, and like I really like seeing that. And they're really interested in the sport.
Right.
I think it's really awesome. I did it, but
yeah, I think we have 10 ladies on the GG barbell team now.
Wow.
So
that's
Yeah,
impressive.
It's very inclusive, and it doesn't matter what you do or who you are. If you're willing to work, he's willing to help.
He said Gabe's very inclusive. It doesn't matter what or who you are. If you're willing to work, he's willing to help.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's so much fun. Like his person.
He's a great coach. He is a great coach.
I can see that. When they were at our meet, I mean, like he was competing, but also had people he was coaching, and he's just so well-rounded.
Yeah, he competed at Mike Dimon's meet back in December, and he also was coaching on top of him competing.
Right.
So I mean, he did bench only, but still, like,
I mean,
he wasn't just focused on himself. Like he was focused on himself and the entire team that was there. Because I think we had 10 or 12 there that were competing. So.
Yeah, and I mean, even just bench only is still a competition. I mean, your brain is still got to be in competition mode, and to be able to do the competition mode and coach mode, and just like he's so uplifting to his lifters. It was really cool to see. It was a lot of fun to get to be a part of.
He is really great. I mean, he's a great coach, a great friend, just all around good person. He really is.
I'm really, really looking forward to you guys being out here well, I guess not out here, be in Houston. I forget we aren't in Houston anymore sometimes. But I'm really looking forward to it. Last year at the Baddest Bencher we had a lot of fun. And I think this year I think it's going to be even better. There's a lot more competing in the push-pull portion of it, and the Barry and I are running the full power portion of it. So
that'd be me.
Yep. I think we're going to see a lot more competitors, and I mean, last year Tiny just did the bench only and the push-pull. I mean, full power is just not his thing, and he doesn't like running it. I'm like, totally understand. A lot of people don't like running full power meets, and listen, I don't blame them. It's not easy. Running a full power meet takes a lot more than running just a bench only or a push pull. So I'm really excited to get to work with Tiny and do a full power portion of that. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are coming over from Beaumont, and there's several people traveling to be here. So I think it'll be a great turnout. I think we're going to.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a great turnout.
I think so too. I think it'll be a really good weekend. So we're just gonna have to find a restaurant big enough to house us all.
Right.
Or maybe I should say a restaurant with enough food to feed us all.
Right. We're going to be hungry afterwards. That's for sure.
Right. Yes. I need to get to work on that probably. I didn't even think about that. So I'll need to get to work on finding us a restaurant where we can all go after weigh-ins. So, well, I just, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I know how valuable your time is, especially as a mom and a lifter and a wife. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Well, I appreciate you wanting to interview me.
I love it. I'm so honored to get to do it. I love my Anderson family. It's one of the best parts of my life outside of my blood family that I have.
Oh, mine too.
Love Kevin, love Ken, and really, I wouldn't be where I am in this sport if it wasn't for Kevin.
No, I completely agree. I wouldn't either.
He's been with us from the day we decided we wanted to do anything in this sport, and I truly don't know what I would do without him. He's when Barry got sick last week, Kevin was the first person I text. He was actually the only person I text. And he's like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "I just need you to update everybody. People are texting me and calling me, and I just can't keep up with all of that right now. I just need you to
Right.
take care of all of that." And he's like, "Okay." So to get to sit down with a fellow Anderson, family member, I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this.
My pleasure.
And I can't wait to meet you in March. I'll see you in
I know, right? This isn't the same as meeting.
No, this isn't. No, this is just sitting down yapping. Like, to actually get to meet you and hug your neck and be like, we're Southern girls. We're huggers.
Right.
That's a Southern thing. And if y'all aren't from the South, you don't understand it, and that's okay. You don't have to. But no, I am really excited. I think it's going to be a great turnout, and I'm ready to see Team Anderson represented at the Arnold this year. I know.
Me too. I'm excited. It's my first Arnold.
Is
I'm
it?
so excited. Yeah, it's my first Arnold.
It's so much fun. Like, it truly is just so much. That's my cat. He's a little upset. No idea why, but he's upset.
My cat's like, "What is that noise?"
Right. So anyway, well, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And I am really looking forward to March. And thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
And bye.